The mission of the YWCA is to eliminate racism and empower women. The YWCA of the Mid-Peninsula in Palo Alto, California, served on the cutting edge of leading this work in Silicon Valley from 1950 until it closed in 2003, and invested $4 million from the sale of the building in a donor-advised fund. Led by former YWCA volunteers and staff, since then it has granted over $3 million to more than 50 agencies committed to carrying on the YWCA's mission. We did so many things, and you led us in that work. How did you have the vision, way back then, which is still today, to implement? I mean, where did that fortitude come from? How did you know where we needed to go and the things that were important? And how did you nurture that vision? How did you execute it? And I ask because a lot of people, typically folks fall into a couple of camps. They're visionaries or they're folks that can execute. And you are a master. I won't say a mistress, that sounds funny to me, but you are a master at both. And so I just always wonder, how did you know that those were the things we needed to be doing?
Well, again, I think it's just the togetherness and listening and building on experiences of people and being loving projects. I like to keep busy and I like to write. And so it's bringing it together, the people and the work, and just, believing so much. And why wouldn't you dedicate your cause to this?
It's been, 17 years now, I think, since the formation of the Donor Advised Fund, and we've granted to, 54 organizations?
I think so.
I know the grants have exceeded $3 million, and competitive grant process. And, as one of the founding members of that fund, what has been fascinating for me is to learn about all the good work that's going on in the communities.
Yes.
And whether the organizations, are a staff of 2 or 3, or whether it's a totally all volunteer organization, just kind of the breadth of the work. And it also gives us an opportunity to continue to kind of mentor some of the organizations.
When the Y closed in 2005, we had some very far-thinking people that had to decide what we're going to do with the legacy. There was no mortgage on that building in Palo Alto, which is really said a lot. So they were able to sell the building, and we were able to invest that money in a donor advised fund, a free clear grant, a large one, and to one of the local YWCAs. And fortunately, stock market has done very well on the whole since 2005, and we've been able to give grants primarily in the same area that the YWCA serviced those people. So in that way, we've been able to affect a larger area than we were able to as a YWCA. But then when you think about the ramifications of all these groups, over 50 that have gotten grants from the Y, you can see how expandable the number of people who have been impacted by the Y. That's the value of a donor advised fund, is that you can work with speed. Mm-hmm. You don't have to wait till the grants are, if it's important enough, you can get it done quickly.
Well, one of the things I think that has been genius about the Donor Advised Fund for the Mid-Peninsula YWCA is that this has enabled the YWCA to continue to make an impact in the local communities. And serving on the board has given me an opportunity to see the great work that is continuing with the Mid-Peninsula. And this was something that I was well aware of even as a student. The Mid-Peninsula YWCA is really a shining star in the country of one of the YWCAs that does that very well. Does incredibly excellent racial justice programming work at the local level, as well as the advocacy work that needs to happen to address both eliminating racism and empowering women.
Oh goodness, it was probably over 10 years ago when there were deep cuts to domestic violence services across the state. And again, this fund sprang into action and provided resources.
being able to act quickly on the gifts that we've made to other YWCAs that have been impacted by natural disasters. I'm thinking specifically when we made a gift to the YWCA of Houston after the hurricane there.
My experience, when I worked for the Y and now being part of DAF, when I talk to people in the community about what the Mid-Peninsula YWCA did back then, what they do now, and the dual imperative, those aspects of eliminating racism and empowering women, it just people are surprised because people don't know that much about the YW, and I think that it's just people are so excited about the work that we're doing now, and when I worked there, the work that we were doing back then, and so I just think it's just such a great organization, and it uplifts people when they hear about the work that we do.
Not only a place of love, but a point of pride to have worked alongside you. It's just the friendship and just the opportunity I had to develop and grow. I will be eternally grateful to you for that. And the women that I've met through the YWCA, I've just felt so nurtured, and it's so great to still be connected after all these years. So
Never lets you go.
I think you have something to do with that, just a little bit, But I mean, it really does come back to the YWCA is a membership organization. It's a movement. You were definitely a mover and shaker, and the way that you were able to have the vision to be creative, to think outside the box, to be courageous, to get it all done, and lovingly with a smile, and that is there aren't many like you, Kay Phillips. I just want you to know that, and so we really appreciate all that you've done, all that you continue to do.
Well, to my family that let me do all this too, as big as the YW family is, enveloping it. Yep, thank you.
We are so proud to be a partner with this extraordinary group of women. I have learned so much, and I'm so inspired to help tell the story of what a small but courageous group of women can do. It's not often that one gets to learn 164 plus years of history that's been repeated from one woman to another woman through the years. What has bonded these women is a bold mission and a local, fierce, yet humble and beloved nonprofit leader, Kay Phillips. Their innovative donor advised fund has and will continue to drive change for years to come until their fight is won.